Hey, Kool-aid Krew, what's crack-a-lackin'? Can I get somebody to give me a 5 for 5 as I get going here? I'm going to continue on here. But yeah, guys, we've had some more eruptions here. As you can see there is a big one there that could possibly be hitting Earth, and also another comet diving in towards the sun. And we'll go into that a little bit more here in just a second. And as I was setting up for this, we had a flare, another one. These are decent sized M-class flares. These are going to start producing some fairly significant CME'S, I think. These are it could possibly start sending more and more at us. These are all these are Earth facing. So yeah, we've had you can see the clear uptick right there. Boom. We also had a geomagnetic storm. It was from a small CME or even a CIR, possibly could have hit us. It wasn't that big of a deal, so not a whole lot of people even reporting on that one. But as of current right now, we don't really have at this exact second, nothing got us into geomagnetic storming, but we will go into that. Also, here is the Helio viewer. This is where I'm showing you guys SDO now, because the SDO site is not being updated due to the shutdown. Remember, guys, those are government websites, and so I found other websites that we can use, ran by schools. The data is still being collected and posted. You just have to have the models to put it in there. But I'll be showing you guys this. We've had that flare that just hit us came from this sunspot here, and it was, ironically enough, Dr. Tony Phillips actually reported on it over here, and it seems to be a pretty dangerous sunspot here because it's getting very unstable and it's fairly big. But so that's what we're going to be going into today, and I hope that yeah. So are we 5 for 5? I just want to make sure. Yeah, we're 5 for 5. Thanks, Buckeye Jim, and anybody else that said that. I just wanted to make sure. And I'll say hello here in just a second, guys. But I do want to get through this bit of a, I guess, intro. So here we go. All right, guys, so we're going to start here, and what we're going to look at, guys, this is SOHO. I guess I should back out of that for a second. I want to show you guys where SOHO is at. It's in the L1 Lagrange point, and what that means, guys, there's certain positions out there in space that they can put satellites and well, mainly satellites, I would say, yeah. That's the James Webb is actually back here. In the L2 position, I believe is what that position is. Here's Earth, and the L2 would be back here. L1's where this one's at. That's SOHO. It's 1 million miles closer to the sun than what we are, but it's right out in front of us, and it stays there. Now, Stereo A is over here. And it is over here now. It used to be way over here. So we now have a decent-sized backside view of the sun now. We didn't have that for over a year. It was, yeah, so it kind of kept us a little bit in the dark. I don't want to, get too much into that, but there was Stereo A and Stereo B were put out there. They're called stereo for what reason? You can go read what each letter means. I'm not really exactly sure, but they all mean something. They're STEREO. You got ahead and behind. That means ahead and behind Earth, okay? But these two satellites are identical. They were put out there so that we could see the whole backside of the sun. Both of them have outlived their not usefulness, but their lifespan, okay? So anything we're getting from these satellites is extra, okay? It's kind of like Voyager that went out there and just kept going. So anyway, that's where this satellite is currently at. Now, as you can see here, let's just go ahead and get back into this right here. This is the most current eruption. Now, we're looking at SOHO straight from, right down its gullet, right? It's a straight line from us to the satellite to the sun. This is an actual disk. It's a physical disk to block the light of the sun. So this camera can even, or this tool on the satellite can even get this image, okay? So what that means is we don't know exactly what we're, you know, if we could tell if it was going off to the side. Sometimes things even come off the sun. If they're compact enough, we won't ever know they're even going to hit us. It's crazy sometimes until it actually hits this satellite, because it's right, this disc is in the way. Now, so that leaves us to wonder, you know, where and how, whatever direction is going here, this is what's happening, right? We don't know exactly if it's going off the back, left, or right. We have to have another perspective, and we do, and I'm going to go show it to you, and it is stereo A. But before we move that direction, when you see it blow off to the sides here, most of the time, I've seen this enough, I can almost tell if it's coming at us or not. It's really weird. It's weird when you look at this thing for years and years and years, you get a feel for just how the imaging looks. And you can almost tell if it's going off the back or not. There's actually 2 eruptions here, 1, 2. And we're going to back up and look at some more too. But because we had a couple the past couple days. So let me, I'm just going to slow this down. Watch right here. Here's that comet coming in, right? And I showed you one a couple days ago coming in from down here. Now these are all going towards the sun. They're orbiting our sun, and eventually what happens is they get closer and closer to the sun, and finally either the solar wind or the sun itself will eat it up. And that's what typically happens. If it doesn't make it around the sun, it's called a sun diver. If it makes it around the sun and goes back out into orbit, they call that a sun grazer, because it doesn't necessarily get gone. Okay? So yeah, that's what I'll say. Hey Jammer, by the way, thank you for posting that. I seen that. I went to go do it. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing that for me, man. It makes staging for a live stream so much easier. But yeah, and by the way, guys, the sound on my videos now is a lot better than what it was, because I'm using a headphone and mic that Jammer sent to me. It's awesome. Hey Hope, good to see you guys. But thanks again, Jammer, and prayers for Jammer. He's had some health issues. You know, there's a lot of people in our community going through health issues, and we just got to continue to pray for everybody. I think I've seen Hilly in here too. Hey IG. Hey Callie. Okay, let me keep going here, guys. I'm sorry. I want to get through the space weather first before I do that. And the goal here, guys, is I'm going to try to do one in the morning and one in the evenings now. Okay? The one in the morning is probably going to be very short. This one's going to be a little bit longer because I couldn't get here last night. So I'm giving you guys a little extra right here. But I'm going to try to do 2 a day. And I do think that that'll help everybody kind of hit their time frame when they can be here watching. I know it's really hard to be here at one specific time every day, but I do appreciate that. Anybody that does make that attempt. So if we come over here to NOAA, you can definitely see those flares here, and they've actually got here on the 16th, they've got us forecasted for a G1 storm. Now I'm not sure exactly which CME that's from yet. Most likely it's the one I just showed you. Okay? Or it could be, there's a couple more again, and I'm going to show it to you. But this here is NOAA's forecasting models, the Enlil spiral. NASA has its version too, but this is NOAA's version of it. And this is a top down, and this is a side cut. The green is Earth. Okay, that's conditions, right? The red is stereo A. So we get conditions at stereo A. And it's beneficial sometimes to have them both. All right? But notice that it says 11, 12, 13. Well, what is today? Today's the 14th, right? So this thing hasn't updated yet completely. So this new CME I just showed you guys is not on this model yet. This is a CME that's going to be giving us that geomagnetic storm. There's a couple of them here. You see this right here? And then here. So what if you watch right about, well, I'll just grab this slider, and right there, you see the CME pop off right around the 11th and 12th? And yes, there's 2 of them. See that? So what that means is they don't actually become one. They get so close to each other, they seem to be one. But in between those two CMEs, you're going to have a very dense shock wave, because the one behind it is going to push denser, more and more particles up against the one in the front. So it's all going to compile and pile and pile up. So basically, when you see two CMEs almost become one before it hits Earth, and then it hits Earth, it's almost like getting hit with 3 CMEs. You'll see a distinct 3 shocks that hit us. The first initial, and then shortly behind, the space in between, and then the third one will be the one behind it. The one behind it's actually moving faster. Now, if the one in the front was moving faster than the one behind, obviously this would not be a problem, right? The one in the back has to be the one that's moving the fastest. Now again, they call this a cannibal CME because it appears to eat the other one in front and become one, right? But technically it does not do that. Those particles get really, really close together, and because of magnetics, they will actually push against each other in a lot of ways, negative and positive. So if you get positive and positive, they push away, right? So that's how that happens. Now, let me get going here, guys. So yeah, give me a roll call in there, guys, if you could. I'd like to see where you guys are all from. Hey, Virginia. Hey, Hope. It's good to see everybody here, and thank you guys for continuing your memberships. It makes a huge difference in my life and my family's life. I just want to say that, and I'm not going to, harp on that. But if you guys want to become a member, I'm going to be doing a members only stream this weekend. Probably, maybe even Friday night. Depends on when I have. I'm going to send out a poll to the members, and we're going to figure out a time that works good for everybody. And I may even do 2 to hit both time frames. Okay, morning and night. Okay. I'm working on all that, guys. I'm getting my groove back. I hope you guys can hear it in my voice. I'm a little bit more, I guess, upbeat. I went through some really hard stuff past few months, and it's just been rough. And a lot of it wasn't even me. So the really bad stuff wasn't even me. I just had to be there for somebody else. And thank you guys for giving me that time and still coming back and watching everything. It means the world to me. You guys mean the world to me, seriously. You guys are my connection to everything almost anymore, to the outside world. As sad as that sounds, that's just the truth. So, okay, now, what we got here? Arkansas, baby. Heck yeah. Dixieland. Heck yeah. Hey, Gerald. Maryland, Cali. What's up? I know where Angel's from. Boogie down Bronx, baby. Cali. Maryland, Linda. Sweet. I know where you're at too, Mr. Hey, Ricky. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Hey, Richard. And guys, please share this out. I am trying to get back into the algorithm. I'm not going to harp on that either. I just want to say that one time and move on from it. So please just share that out. It's really the best way you guys can support. If you can't become members or whatever in that aspect, just doing likes and all that kind of thing and sharing the video out, it helps more than I could say. And I know you guys hear that from a lot of streamers, but it's just a fact. Okay, so this is you can see it flaring, right? See that? That's that sunspot that Dr. Tony Phillips was calling dangerous, and it did erupt. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit concentrated on this area because it is getting very, very unstable. So yeah, now let me let's just pause that. Go here. I'm actually just going to X out of that. What I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to give you guys just a still image here, because I can do that like this here. Okay, so what you're seeing here, we got another coronal hole, guys. I mean, these coronal holes have been a thorn in our side, especially with earthquakes. I don't exactly know the science behind why a coronal hole affects earthquakes here on Earth. All I can tell you is every time we have coronal holes facing Earth, earthquakes uptick and get stronger. Seismic activity in general. And this is a big subject right now because we're hearing about these cracks opening up and everything else on the ocean floor. And you know, there's a lot of stuff happening all at once. So, yeah, when all that stuff's happening at once, you know, you got to really pay attention. Now, this is Earth right here. Actually, I'm just going to get that off of there. Get that off of there. Okay, that looks a little better, doesn't it? So I can move this up a little bit too. Now, this is Earth size. Look at that. See that little dot right there? That's how big this is. Look. How many Earths you think you can fit inside there? I wouldn't even begin to tell. At least 100. If not more. Probably more. I guess we could zoom in a little bit. Let's do that. There we go. So yeah, check that out. Look at that. Now I also find it interesting, this little, see that right there? We have a sunspot in the middle of this coronal hole. Now the coronal hole is a hole in the sun's atmosphere. That's all that is, okay? So when you see the black, that's actually the surface of the sun. And colder areas show up darker on this particular model, okay? And so what that means is the surface of the sun is actually colder than the atmosphere. Now I've talked about this multiple times. I'm not going to go into great detail here, but that is exactly what's going on there, okay? So let me just keep pushing forward here, but this is the 211 angstrom, and it's good for showing coronal holes. It just, that's, you know, we look at different angstroms of light to see different features, and it gives us better visual understanding of what's going on. This is the 304. We look at this one for things like, this is ionized helium. We look for filaments. You see these filaments? These dark shadows? Those are magnetic ropes laying in the corona of the sun. And they do lift off. And when they lift off, they become CME'S. And if they hit Earth, they usually hit us pretty hard, because they're pretty dense most of the time. Now you can see the bright areas here. Again, here's that one sunspot. And it does look, I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not. I know it's not like a dark shadow. That looks like an eruption. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not. I don't want to run a movie on this one because it'll jack up my stream right now because of bandwidth. But it leads right back to this. So my guess is this is the flare that just hit. Okay, and it had a CME with it, and this is part of that CME. Now, I can't tell you for certain if that CME is going to hit Earth. I don't know yet. It's too early. Okay? But just given what I'm seeing there, it's got a good chance. So that makes even this site, look, due to the lapse in federal government funding, NASA is not updating this website. Right? This is HelioViewer, the one I'm using to show you. But this, what they're saying about updating is if there's any kind of new stuff going on. But we're able to see this. So it's giving us updated imaging. But if something was to jack up with this while the government shut down, they won't fix it until it comes back up. Okay? So just so you know that. So if something happens here on HelioViewer, this imaging we won't be able to get to anymore. Nothing updated anyway. So we can also look at other angstroms here. Let's look at the 171 real quick. This one here is the one I tend to show you when I'm wanting to show you guys the corona. And because you can kind of see how far out it kind of reaches. So yeah, I'm not going to go into detail on this right now, but that's what's happening. Now, to what I will do though, is I do want to go back here and go to the 94. It's going to be the green one here, but this is that sunspot, and I'm doing this for one reason. See how big Earth is? These are how big the sunspots are. So I mean, you know, take that for whatever it's worth there, guys. Okay, so now, again, this is the day side of the sun. This is the D region, okay? This is where we can kind of see where flares hit. They show up in bullseye fashion. See that? That's the latest one. Now, why do we even look at this? Because this affects communications. Ham radio operators, sometimes GPS. You know, first responders use all of that to keep us safe. So when these flares happen, and typically it will only knock it out for like an hour, and usually it don't even knock it out. It just degrades it, okay? It takes a big flare to like knock it completely out for a while. But right now, this flare is hit and it's gone. It gets here, it's moving at the speed of light because it's X-ray. It's not a CME. CMEs can take 3 to 5 days to get here because it's actual mass, plasma, okay? Highly charged particles. But you can see all these flares happening. Boom, 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 boom. So if you got people and first responders, you know, I always give this example. What people don't think this is so important. Well, it is. What if you had a family member or yourself had a heart attack at the same time that a flare happened? What does that mean? Well, there's a possibility that your first responders might not get to you as fast as they would have been able to if that flare hadn't happened. And I know it's kind of like a, you know, well, what's the chances of that happening? Yeah, I realize that the chances of that happening is small. But let me tell you, this is a big world, guys. I mean, you can't tell me that that's never happened. So that, you know, so I'll just leave that at that. I'm not going to, like, get into all hardcore there. Okay, but right here, let me show you here. You have geomagnetic activity down here, and this is the KP, right? These are 3-hour plot points. Geomagnetic storm right there. We're low right here. I can show you, this is a German website. This is a 30-minute plot point. This gives us more real time and kind of makes it a little bit more detailed. All right? As of right now, we're not in geomagnetic storms. We're waiting on these other CME'S to hit. Now, this is our magnetosphere. This is generated from the solar wind hitting our magnetic field. You'll notice that the majority of the energy moves from left to right because the sun's off to the left on this model. Okay? And as you can see, you got a side cut and a top-down look. All right? So that's what you're looking at there. And you can definitely see, this is our bow shock, first point of contact. It just is what it is. But yeah. So as you're seeing this, you can see that it's very symmetrical, right? This is velocity and velocity only. The reds are the higher speeds, and so are the blues. The darker blues and reds are moving the exact same speed. This says negative, that says positive, right? What that means is everything is driven magnetically. So when you see blues pop up, that means it's actually moving towards the sun. It gives us direction, left to right, okay? So most of the time you're going to see the blues inside of our protection because the stuff coming from the sun is way more powerful than anything that's back here, okay? But you can definitely see how it's just peeling particles. You know what I'm saying? It's just what's happening. This is current right here. Now, we're not in geomagnetic storming because guess what? Earth's magnetic field right at this second is doing its job. It's deflecting everything, or the majority of it. So I always point that out. Now there's a blue right there. See the blue? And I know a lot of you guys have already seen all this stuff before. Now this is density. So what you're seeing here is this density, period. Not velocity, not pressure, just the density of the particles. Okay? So, you know, a lot of times people will say our bow shock is down, our first point of contact. The only way our bow shock goes down is if the sun disappears or our magnetic field is completely gone. And either one of those is a really bad day for us. Okay? Just saying. It's a really bad day for everybody because we just, yeah. So when somebody says that this bow shock goes down, please question it and just look at it for yourself and make up your own mind what you think there. Because I just told you what generates this bow shock is our magnetic field interacting, first point of contact, with solar wind. And the only way there's no solar wind is if the sun isn't there. It's continually sending us solar wind, even if it's not very strong. Typically, it's about at 300 kilometers per second. That's the fastest it comes, okay? That's about what we consider normal, between 300 and 500. Anything above that, we would consider that fast. Anything below that, slow, right? And believe it or not, guys, when it's slow and inactive, it lets more cosmic rays in. So we need a balance. That's why we talk about this. We need a balance. If we're not getting enough geomagnetism, cosmic rays get in, and that can make us sick. If we're getting enough, that means we're getting hit. And if we're getting hit too much, that means we're having, you know, grid issues and everything else. So, yeah. But as you can see, this is pressure. And we're not seeing a whole lot because we're just not having a whole lot right now. Okay? This is going to change. It's going to change in the next couple days. May even change in the next few hours. So, I'll just leave that at that. Now, again, this is Dr. Tony Phillips, spaceweather.com. Please go check him out. Now, guys, reds and greens, reds and blues, negative, positive, right? So on a sunspot, you have a negative and you have a positive on the cores. So when you start seeing these things get close to each other and mixing, that means it's becoming very, very unstable. So when they connect, a reconnection is a flare. Okay? That's how that happens. They connect to each other, it reconnects, bam, there's your flare. I can tell you right now, this is very, very unstable. It's getting bigger and more unstable at the same time, which isn't something we typically see a whole lot of. I'm not going to call this rare because we do see this. I've shown it to you before, but I will say that this is, I don't even want to call it uncommon. It's not really kind of a normal one, you know. But it just is what it. Oh, thank you, man. Hey, Jammer, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for becoming a member, man. I appreciate you, bud. You know you didn't have to do that. You do enough for this channel, bud. But I want you to be there, okay? So thanks, man. I do appreciate that. Well, thank you, Judith. I love you back. 100% love you guys back. No joke. So, yeah. Okay. Wow, I'm way behind on my chat here, trying to catch up. Sorry. I'm trying to highlight your membership there, Jammer, so you can get popped on the screen there. I gave away 10 memberships on my last live stream, guys. We did pretty good, you know. So thank you for that. Oh, goodness. Man, I tell you. Boy, my thing was way off. Man. That thing's going to take an hour to catch up. Wow. I'll highlight it when it catches up, Jammer. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So Dr. Tony Phillips is, there it is. Oh. Come on. There it is. Let me get it back up there. There we go. There it is. All right. Awesome. So, yeah, we have fun over there, guys. So, I just want to let you know that. We have a lot of fun. You know, we're going to play games. I'm going to be doing giveaways, all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, we have fun. We'll talk about space weather when we need to, but we laugh. Laugh a lot of. Hope Between the Dreams, 16 members, baby. 16 months. Wow. That is so cool. Thank you, Hope. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Guys, tell her thanks in the chat there if you would. That's some good stuff right there. Okay, so I wanted to show you this again. Okay, I showed you guys this in my last live stream. This is back on the 8th. Notice watch down here. This is what's got me kind of, I don't know what's causing this. I haven't gotten any kind of good response from that yet. But, you know, watching, let's go back up here. Okay, this is the same model. This is what we would consider normal. You see how things are very, very symmetrical? You know, everything's just kind of hitting us, and then Earth, you can see the bow shock's nice and bent, just a good arc. Well, this is the same model, but back on the 8th. You can immediately tell that this is lopsided, number one. So if I keep moving here, this right here is really what's got me kind of, what in the world's going on? Where did that come from? Now, I have some people saying something about CERN. And I'm not saying that CERN can't affect our magnetic field, because it definitely could. At least on a brief moment there, okay? So, as we're looking at this, you can tell that it generates from inside. Now, I want to point this out too. Do you guys see this? See like two humps? That's almost like another bow shock. But that is not Earth's bow shock, guys. But I'm not saying that that's anything other than just a magnetic discharge. Okay, that's pretty much what I'm saying here. It's what it looks like. Some sort of a, you know, hey, let's just let this go, you know. I don't know. This is why I'm talking about this. I don't know. I would just tell you what it is if I do. But I don't know. So for something to push against the sun, has to be fairly just, yeah, it has to be a pretty decent size, or at least strength, to get, you know, push against the solar wind like that. But you can see how, even right in the middle, nothing's coming from over here. And that's, you know, and that's where I have an issue. I guess it could have like been a very like pinpointed plasma hit from the sun, but it would have been very small. I just don't, yeah, I don't know, guys. So I just wanted to show it to you again. You're probably going to see it again here later on in my videos too. I need to figure out what caused that, and it could be just a model anomaly. I don't know. I really don't. And I'm not trying to claim anything here either. I just want you guys to understand that it's definitely something that I've not seen before. So anyway, so what we're going to do now real quick is we're going to go back here. Here's that comet. Okay, that's that eruption too. This is not showing that most recent eruption. Okay, from that flare it just happened. It won't be on here yet. And not enough time has passed. So if I back out of this, well, I guess I could do this. Let's do this. Let's update the site. See if it might have, I guess. Probably not. We'll look. We'll look at this one here. Doesn't look like it. Let's play it. Well, have to do it that way. Okay, yeah, it hasn't updated yet. So as soon if it updates, I'll be showing it to you guys tonight. Okay, just wanted to make sure you guys seen that. But I'm gonna take you guys back to the 11th, and also here on the 14th, I'm gonna show you stereo A. Remember I said we had a side view. So anything kind of going to the left has a chance of coming our Earth's direction, and you can see, because remember our point of view here is kind of from the side. It's actually kind of like at a 45, okay, kind of like right here. If Earth was here, stereo A would be here. All right. So anything going that direction, but if it was going that way to the right, it definitely wouldn't be coming our direction. So we would know that right off the bat. You can also see clearly two separate eruptions here, which I guess this one firing off the top there like that could be that most recent, but this is definitely two separate eruptions. Okay, again, that's from stereo A. It's not from SOHO. No, I'm right here. I'll show you again. Right here, stereo A. Right, SOHO's here from our perspective. Now, if I take you back to the 11th, here's that other comet I just showed you guys. I just showed you guys that in my last video. Check it out. Oops. It'll show up here. Look at that. Now it's a lot more pronounced. All that means is that it was able to see it better. I don't know if it's doing whatever it's doing. And a lot of this is perspective, right? We don't know how far away that comet is. I don't know. I have no idea. Because we can't tell just from one point of view. So we do know that it's further than 1 million miles away from us because that's where the satellite's at. But it's definitely heading towards the sun fairly fast. And I'm also, what I'm going to do here is we're going to, I'm going to show you some more eruptions that happened that are actually, is what's going to be causing our geomagnetic storming here the next couple days. See all these? Watch what happens here on the 12th. Oops. Right there. All right. So, and that's a pretty decent one. That one that looked like it fired off the bottom. It did, but some of that's Earth directed. Okay. And then here's on the 13th. You could kind of see a faint halo when that one erupts. So there was another one there that's kind of coming at Earth. A halo means you see it like consistently around this disk. So that means it's either coming right at us or going off the back. And we know from looking at stereo A that it's actually coming our direction because we had a side view. And then here's the most updated one. And you'll see this other comet come in here. Okay? So that's what's happening with all that. Now, again, guys, if we see any more comets, we know the comets is a big subject right now. I'm not going to get into, that right now. I've reported on Comet Atlas already before. And there's so much coverage of it out there. And there's really good and there's really bad coverage too. So just listen to everybody and listen with intent hearing, if I could be bold like that, I guess. But yeah, so that's pretty much the update, guys. I will be back. Hey Jerry, good to see everybody in here. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Hey Stephanie, good to see you guys. Good to see you. And thanks, guys, for being members. Anybody that stuck with me through that almost a month off, I can't tell you. And anybody that's rejoining, thank you so much. It makes a huge difference to my family. I just want to make sure you guys understand how appreciative I am of that. I also understand that sometimes people can't. So don't ever think it's a requirement. I will never put nothing behind a paywall. I'll make that just straight up clear. Okay? I will never, ever do that to you guys. That's just not what I do. I don't even like even talking about this. I'm very uncomfortable when I talk about this. You can probably hear me kind of stumbling around a little bit. And also, guys, I'm going to be back tonight with another live stream. And again, I'm trying to do one in the morning and one at night. If something happens in between there, like if something big, I'll come out here and let you guys know. So, but I will be back later on tonight. I'm not going to be able to hammer down you a time. It'll most likely between 7 and 10 Eastern tonight. I'm trying to hit everybody's time zone here a little bit. But anyway, guys, that's where we're at. Thank you guys for just watching, sharing. Please share it. Again, that's a really good way to help me out. It just gets me back into the algorithm. Hey, Jeff, good to see you, bud. See here before I mention anybody else here. Virginia, what's up? Hey, Judith. Like I said, hi to you. Hey, George. So say I don't want to miss anybody. I hate when I miss people. Hey, Gary. I said hi to Angel. Okay. Wayne, what's up? Mimi, Kim Possible, what's happening? Ricky's in the house. Jimmer's in the house. And again, guys, I'll be back tonight. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kick off with that. And on Ilea's correction on my last video I did, I forgot to do my ending, man. I gotta always do my ending, right? I mean, that's how things have to work. God bless. Hilly, love you, Hilly. Hey, Mary. God bless. Prayers for everybody. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.